With 11 East Lenox, it is proven that this is actually something that can be done. 7 stories under 70 feet was the tipping point to unlock more financial bandwidth on the project.
As a development team, when 11 East Lenox presented itself as an opportunity for mass timber, we thought, how could we further differentiate ourselves and the product from the market? And so we had onboarded a certified passive house consultant, and they did the initial modeling. They told us we were really close, given that a lot of the strategies, systems, assumptions that we were already using were good practice. It was really not a stretch for us to pursue passive house and mass timber design together.
Usually change is not well accepted. That equates to risk and additional cost. At 11 East Lenox, the market differentiator is mass timber. Once we understood how the structure worked, it allowed us to cantilever out. Getting that extra bit of space in those units was really important.
The big push for us was to really understand, can we actually fit 7 stories under 70 feet? And the 70 feet is a really particular code amendment to Massachusetts building code, where typically a high-rise threshold for international building code would be 75 feet to the top of the tallest occupied floor. But under Massachusetts building code, high-rise threshold is triggered at 70 feet to the tallest roof surface. And so most developers don't see the benefit of going above that threshold because you trigger more costly requirements. And so really there's a 6-story cap. All of our efforts in the initial feasibility was to see, can we actually get 7 stories under 70? A lot of that was, can we get floor assembly to be as thin as possible while still being code compliant and robust? And B, getting the kind of mechanical and plumbing systems that you would typically put in a plenum to operate, in a relatively low floor-to-floor elevation.
Operational pieces of the building on our previous projects were the things that we were really close on. And then at 11 East Lenox, it was more of the static things like detailing the foundation and the envelope system and dialing in window sizes and performance of envelope. And so letting all those things operate in concert.
Once we figured out how can we lay out the mass timber structural grid to 1 unit floor plan, there's really nominally no difference in stacking 4 or 10 of these together, right? So we could figure out, we have the prototypical floor, we can then do as many as we really wanted. It was either 7 stories of mass timber or 6 stories of conventional construction. That extra floor of units was what convinced the client and made the pro forma pencil for the project.
The city of Boston, their sustainability department, they continually use our project as a prototype in their discussions.
They are quite excited when they saw this project because, hey, this is a proof of concept that really kind of reinforces the policies that we want to implement. This should be the new wave of taller than 6-story multifamily housing in Boston, where land is tight and you have to go tall.